back to Access Anime. My name is Henshin Ikeda, and today I'll be doing a walkthrough and review of Btooom episode 11. Now, if you remember from last episode, we see Sakamoto versus Oda. An amazing fight in my opinion, but the end result, we do find out Oda ends up winning and he takes his supplies and ends up leaving. Now, Sakamoto also technically won because he's still alive. Now, he does retreat back to the water, but you know, it's kind of ironic. He knows who Oda is. Apparently, in their childhood, they were friends before, of course, Oda betrayed him and slept with the girl of his dreams. So now we know a little more background between the two characters. Now we also find out Kira gets his BIMs back. Now, while apparently Sakamoto was still in the water, his little bomb pack floated away, and Kira ended up finding it. So Kira now originally has his bombs back. So that was kind of a wow, a wow moment, because now we see Kira is back in the Btooom game in general. Now we are taken to a different scene where we do see Dr. Dates and Himiko picking up, well, Sakamoto in general after he passes out. Now we are taken to a different scene back with Tierra, and we find out Tierra, because we're back at the headquarters, because we see Sakamoto, Dr. Dates, and Himiko, they're all alright, and they're back at the headquarters, and we find out Tierra is sick and he's dying because, if you remember correctly, he was poisoned by the Komodo dragons. So that poison is still inside of him and it's preventing him from healing. Now, Dr. Dates appears like he's about to turn coat and become evil. Now we get to see his true colors. Now, we as the audience see it, but the characters don't. Now, we do find out they're going to go to an abandoned building where Murasaki was actually at, and they're going to retrieve some medication for Tierra. Now, along the ways, we do see Himiko trying to talk to Sakamoto, explaining to him that she doesn't trust Dr. Dates and informing him of what's actually happened, kind of like a light catch-up, but he's still not convinced and they keep going ahead. Now, while they were talking, obviously Dr. Dates overheard everything. Now we are taken to inside of the building, well, before the building, right outside. They split up into 3 different groups, you know, Himiko, Dr. Dates, and Sakamoto, to find the medication for Tierra. Now, while we're inside, we do find out, well, right now, apparently, Sakamoto, we don't really know where he's at, but we do know where Dr. Dates at, because he's been to this island before, so he knows where the medication's at. He does point out the medications are out of date and of no use, but he still puts them in his suitcase, and he traps the suitcase with one of his BIMs, the remote bombs. So he's got a booby trap for Sakamoto. Now, while that's going on, we do know that Himiko's actually talking with Murasaki, trying to find out where the medication's at. But we really don't see that too much in this episode, though. Moving on past that, we do find out Sakamoto and Dr. Dates are talking, and Dr. Dates is trying to sucker Sakamoto in believing him that he's a good person and that he's overheard everything, and he wants to trust Sakamoto, so he gives him his medication, everything he's found, but he booby traps it. Now, at the end of the episode, we do find out Himiko has come to the rescue and is trying to tell Sakamoto in general that throw the case away, it's been booby trapped by Dr. Dates, and that's where the episode ends. And again, I'll keep my final thoughts, my rating at the end of the clip, so stay tuned, but let's dive right in. Now, we open up this episode with Dr. Date almost exactly where we left off, and we see the bombs exploding in the little metallic suitcase that Sakamoto actually has, and it appears Sakamoto is dead. At least that's the appearance we're getting. And Himiko's not really taking this at all well, but she did try to warn him in advance. Just putting that out there, she does try to warn him, but as of this moment, it looks like he's dead, and Dr. Dates is true colors. We can now see he's a bad guy. Everyone knows he's bad, no one can trust him now, and that's where we're at. That was the opening scene. Now, moving on past that, we do see Dr. Dates, and he's very conceited, he's being very cocky. It's obvious, you can definitely see it. I know I saw it, and I was like, really? You're gonna brag? Who's gonna see you? Minus the people that are watching it on TV, of course, because this is a game that's being hosted online, apparently. Now, moving on past that, again, he is cocky, he is conceited, and Himiko really doesn't know what the heck to think, so she's running away, per se, at least trying to see if Sakamoto is alive. And we do see Dr. Dates kind of tracking her down, and he's right in front of her, and it looks like he's about to kill her, because he's like, either join me or die. And then we see Murasaki, that's right, that nurse from the last episode. Well, she was previously from the original Btooom game that survived but wasn't the winner, with the missing arm. She comes right behind Dr. Dates and stabs him with like one of those special, like a weapon in general. He's got like a knife or something in his back, and it looks like he's dead, but he's not. but it was like perfect timing. No, did I see this coming? No. No, a woman scorn. Just putting that out there. Don't piss a woman off. That is scorn. And guess what? Dr. Dates got what was coming to him, plain and simple. That's all I can really say about that. Now, moving on past that, we are introduced to a flashback. A small little flashback, in my opinion. Nothing too spectacular. It was just how Murasaki, well, not just Murasaki, but how Himiko entered the abandoned building and got to talk with Murasaki. And then we see Murasaki seeing Dr. Dates from the window and telling Himiko, that's Dr. Dates, that's the guy from the last game I was telling you about. And now we're done with a little catch up. Now we know how Himiko in general knows like where we're at right now. Now apparently Murasaki told Himiko that he probably booby-trapped the suitcase, and that's when Himiko broke conversation with Murasaki and ran down to Sakamoto to try to save him. Now we are taken to a different scene after this flashback. This 5-minute flashback is done with. Now this next scene is with Dr. Dates. Now he's wounded. We do know he's been stabbed by Murasaki, and he's no longer in the best of standings. So it looks like he's gonna die. I was like, let him die. Just let him die. Why do we want him back? We don't. Just die. Die. That's all I can say. Die. No one likes you, Dr. Dates. But sorry, I digress. Moving on. Now we do find out that Dr. Dates has planted multiple bombs throughout the whole building, so he's got tons of traps set up. So I thought that was worth mentioning. And he also, I have to point this out, he also has Sakamoto's BIMs, those little cracker bombs. Yeah, Dr. Dates now has Sakamoto's cracker bombs. But he wants to attack Himiko or Murasaki, one of the two, so he's about to throw him, so he throws the cracker bomb, and it's like, I was waiting for this, but we find out Murasaki appears out of nowhere, because right now Himiko is really stunned, she's not doing anything. She takes Himiko's bomb, Himiko touches it, she arms it, and she gives it to Murasaki, and now Murasaki has Himiko's bomb, and it's armed. So I was like, wow, this is perfectly planned out. Now we do find out, again, Dr. Dates has the whole building trapped, and he sets up a trap for Murasaki, and he puts a bomb, I guess, that's in a wall, and it explodes on Murasaki. So we don't know if she's alive or dead. But moving on to a different scene, again, we're with Himiko, and she's lost. We don't know where she's at. She's in La La Land, for all I could care. She assumes that Sakamoto is dead, he's not coming back, and that's kind of sad because she should have gave him more credit. I mean, he is the Btooom, one of the top Btooom players. You'd assume that, come on, that's not going to kill him. I mean, we saw Oda versus Sakamoto, and guess what? He still survived, and he still surprised Oda. Just putting that out there, but sorry, I digress. Moving on past that, we do find out Himiko is lost. She's, that's where she's at. But Dr. Dates tries lying to her, just trying to get the build up like he's lying, trying to get her back on his side, something along those lines. And then he attacks. Now, we do find out the BIMs, it just hits Himiko's boob. You see Dr. Dates throwing Sakamoto's BIMs, which is the cracker bomb, at Himiko. And she's prepped to die. She's, I'm about to die, I'm good. She's prepped, she's ready. She's said everything she needs to say. She's about to die. The cracker bomb hits her boob, and it's one of those emotional moments. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Just bounces back off, and it doesn't explode. And that can only mean one thing: Sakamoto is not dead. That's right, you heard me. Sakamoto is alive. I just thought I'd point that out. Now, moving on to the next scene. Guess what? We see the radar go off. Dr. Dates puts his radar off, try to see if Sakamoto is still alive, so he tries to ping him, and Sakamoto is right behind Himiko. Guess what? Sakamoto is back. He's back. That's all I can say. He's back. So we do see Sakamoto is back, in fact. So that was worth saying. I just have to say that. Sakamoto, he's back. And he's very pissed. He's very serious. He's not the same man we saw before. Different character. He's taking this game very seriously. Again, I definitely thought that was worth mentioning. Now, a lot of things have happened afterwards, because we do see Dr. Dates start running. He's getting the hell out of Dodge. I mean, it's obvious, because we do see Sakamoto picking up the cracker bomb, which is originally his, and now he is armed. He's got one cracker bomb. And that's like amazing. That's all I can say. Now we are taken to a different scene, of course, after we see Dr. Dates running. Now we see Sakamoto, and it's a big yes moment, in my opinion, a really good moment. He finds Dr. Date, and it's a trap, because we see Dr. Dates, he has the whole building with traps everywhere, right? The whole building full of traps, and in this little pile of wood right in front of Sakamoto, that's where he hid one of his bombs. And he had this all planned out. He was playing the weak character, saying, "Don't kill me," and whatnot. And Sakamoto's walking up, and we find out Sakamoto, yeah, guess what? He removed all the bombs in that particular area right behind Dr. Dates. So he wasn't even walking into a trap. He was aware of the situation. It was beautiful. That's all I can say. Beautiful. It exploded right in Dr. Dates' face, and I was like amazed. I'm sorry, I was just amazed. And again, we do see Dr. Dates in general. He's been defeated. It looks like he's half dead, but he is still alive. Now we do see Murasaki. She comes back. She's alive. She's not dead. And she's about to kill Dr. Dates, but she doesn't. She's showing him remorse. And we do find out Murasaki doesn't kill him. In fact, she tries to nurse him back to health. And I just don't understand that. I really don't. No, I don't. But before I go any further, I just wanted to point out a small little thing on how Sakamoto actually survived. Sakamoto survived after hearing Himiko actually tell him the bombs were in the suitcase, that little metallic case. He jumped away, kind of moved away, and surprisingly there was a hole in the floor going downstairs, and he jumped inside to survive. So that's how Sakamoto actually survived. But again, I digress. Moving on to the last part of this actual episode, the ending scene. Now we do find out, apparently, Dr. Dates has been defeated. That's a given. Now, we also find out, well, they plan to take the crystals. Sakamoto's like, you know what, no more playing this safe. Let's find every single body that's been defeated and take the crystals. And that's where the episode ends. So, final thoughts. Is Sakamoto going to put 2 and 2 together and figure out that Tiara's been collecting all the crystals? We don't know. Moving on past that, is Murasaki really in love with Dr. Dates? Why is she showing him remorse? Why don't you just kill the mother? You know what I was about to say. Just kill him. He's not worth having. At least take his hand away to make it equal and give the crystal to, Himiko and Sakamoto. Just putting that out there. Now moving on to one more final thought. Well, I got 2 more. First of all, is Oda going to be back? Where's he at? Are we going to see a full confrontation between Sakamoto and Oda? I hope so. I can't wait to see that. Now moving on past that, I just wanted to point out Tiara. He's got all these crystals. Where is he gonna go? I pointed this out before. I wanted to point it out again. You've got more than 3 crystals on you, buddy. You can't keep that to yourself for long. Eventually, Sakamoto's gonna find out, and then we get to see your true colors. That's all I got to say. But again, that ends it for my final thoughts. As per my rating, I'm feeling a good 4 out of 5. I want to give this a 3.5 out of 5. I mean, the fight scenes really weren't there. They were barely there. And the emotional part was kind of iffy. But I like the end result. Now we know that, Dr. Dates' true colors. He's evil. Now he's been put to rest, per se. So we're going somewhere. So I want to give this a 3.5 out of 5. But I'm feeling a 4 out of 5 just because it felt like the episode was there. In fact, no. I'm going to give this a 3.5 out of 5. I got to change my mind at the last moment because you know what? Now thinking about it, a 3.5 out of 5 does sound a lot more right because we really didn't go a lot in this episode. So final rating, ironically, 3.5 out of 5. And again, that is for my walkthrough and review of Btooom episode 11. Definitely comment down below, let me know, subscribe above if that's what you love, or subscribe in general, and check me out on Twitter and follow me if you like. But again, let me know what you thought of this episode, let me know what you thought in the next episode that's coming out. And again, check me out on Twitter and follow me if you like. But again, that ends it for my walkthrough and review of Btooom episode 11, yet again. And I don't have any more walkthroughs and review to do today. So guys, I gotta hit the bricks, I gotta go, and before I go, I gotta say it, you can't stop the access, but you can watch the feed. I'll see you later, guys.